be ready to kill.
You cannot stop me, I'ma make it to the top spicy. Call a covenant, not cocky. You cannot break me, this world's mine for the taking. Got an inch, man, I'm making. I'll keep my head down and grind and be patient. I'll take a stab at the top and the sailing. They can all try, but you cannot contain it. Cause I see the things that I want and I take on my goal. Push myself to the brink, no limit. Do what it takes to be free, committed. I'm a little obsessed with things, I'll admit it. But that's what it takes to get.
Good morning, guys. What's up? Other than this piece of hair that just sticks up, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't had a problem. My hair's sticking up like that since back when I was married to Matt Damon. Not Jason Bourne Matt Damon, but Good Will Hunting Matt Damon. Anyway, guys, man. So I've done some testing with this roundover, and even though it's a drop my phone roundover, yeah, it's too small. Drop the damn phone. And my hand's covering half the screen. Let's get it back in my holder. There we go. So, it is way too small. I went in and did all the math on the top chamber and then the front port, and there's no doubt about it. It is too small. It'll play low as hell in here, though, with both windows down, which is good. But it's actually killing some of my wind velocity, which means it's building up hell of like pressure in the enclosure itself because the front port ain't quite big enough. So hopefully this weekend I can go back out to Billy's and open it up some and make a couple new roundover pieces. And then playing this thing, I can't play it very long because of my voltage, but I do have a new alternator on the way. It is getting built, maybe today and tomorrow, I don't know. Well, not tomorrow, tomorrow's Saturday, but I am picking up a G2 Dynamics alternator that I'm gonna put on here. I just said to hell with it. The old man that has the alternator repair shop here, I really like that old man, but you know, it ain't really him that's got a lot of health issues. His wife has cancer, and I understand why that dude just takes his sweet ass time doing anything. You know, one, he's paid his dues because he's pretty well up there in age, and he's basically earned the right to do that. He's got his own business, and you know, with his wife being ill, I understand why he will say screw work and be by her side. You just can't deny that. That's the right thing to do. So I fully understand that. But I do need an alternator, and I honestly needed another alternator because if funds permit, right now funds are looking pretty thin, you know. But if funds permit, I will be starting on the black Jeep sometime this winter. I'm still trying to collect everything to build it. So, I don't want my YouTube views to like just drop off and plummet into the earth. So, I need something to keep me going after I'm pretty much done with this. And then, you know, the things I have to do to the Blazer, which I have to do a door build for the Blazer. So, I still have projects for upcoming content to keep me busy, but at some point I just want to build that black Jeep. So the way I see it, I had the money to buy a new alternator, and Paul at G2, he goes through a very, very good alternator guy that is, I don't know, they got some kind of deal worked out where that guy builds his alternators, and they are very high quality. It is a very well-known builder, probably one of the best and well-known in the car audio industry. So, but he's a very, you know, a higher priced. I mean, you're talking probably double the price of a Brand X or an Autotech. But anyway, I figured the old Jeep here's, you know, Jangalang's worth a good alternator. So we're definitely doing a good alternator on here. And I really want to say thank you to my YouTube members and Patreon. It is because of you guys. The way it works is when I do get paid from YouTube, I get paid like from Google Ads and from the YouTube members that do the monthly subscription and everything. That's paid to me all at once. But my Patreon guys, you guys, that money just sits in Patreon. I actually manually have to pull that out. I have never taken money out of my Patreon the whole time that I've had Patreon. And you know, this channel just got into the YouTube partnership back in February. So I had enough money in there to buy the alternator, which I thank you guys, YouTube members and Patreon supporters. I thank you guys. And everyone that's subscribed to the channel and watches the videos, all y'all are just VIP. But that made it possible for me to get the alternator for this, because wintertime, being a tattoo artist in Myrtle Beach, normally it gets slow when we're in October, you know. Pretty much after Labor Day, tourism down here slows down and everything. This year has been my worst year since I've been here. It's just been slow. Business as a whole has been slow. And it's tough, but it's been really bad. Like after Labor Day this year, everything is just cut back. And I did stack money back this summer when I was making decent money. You know, I was stacking money back to cover my bills through the winter. But I'm going to tell you, it didn't leave nothing in the budget for an alternator. You know, it's like I have the money sitting there, but like, wait a minute, what if I need that money, you know, down the road for groceries or pay electric, whatever. So that's where I'm at. But, yeah, thanks to Patreon, I had the money there for the alternator. Now, the old man that has my other alternator, hopefully, and like I said, I'm in no rush on that guy. He's got enough going on in his life. And Lord knows if my wife had cancer, you know, and I was dealing with that, I sure as the hell wouldn't be in there worried about people's alternators and starters. So, when this guy gets my Brand X alternator fixed, then I will have it for the black Jeep, which is like a win-win for me. That way I'll have an alternator for it. I've already got a Fat Boy regulator set aside for that Jeep. I got stuff to build a 45 amp hour C-Max, and right now it has CCA wire ran through it, just a piece of 1/0. I do have some 2/0 welding cable. I should have a piece long enough to go all the way through it. So at the end of the day, I pretty much have electrical for that. Like the electrical for that thing is going to be on point for what I put in it, you know. I don't know what I'm going to put in it yet as far as subwoofers, amplifiers, none of that, but I do know I'm going to have electrical possibly to run up to, you know, like 8K or so. I mean, I have two DS18 5Ks full bridge amps. I honestly think I could probably run both of them with a decent alternator and a C-Max 45. I know you can clamp a good 8K off a C-Max 45, clamp power. Two 5Ks, I mean, I doubt that I ever really get a solid 5K out of each one. Probably more like 3, you know, after you factor in the impedance rise. So, there we are. I think it'll be solid. But I have no clue as to what amplifiers, subwoofers, or anything I'm going to run in that Jeep yet. Now, back to this port. God, it looks good, though. It's a little small. But now, the wife's Blazer, God, I don't know. I haven't done the math. I know she has a bigger top chamber than I do. But her port is a little taller than this one and wider than what I'm at actually right now. The Blazer has a totally different cabin than this Jeep. Now, even with her having more top chamber and a port just a little bit bigger than this, she has less cone area in there for one. So it's not going to move as much air. And with this being a smaller chamber here, it'll pressurize a lot quicker. than her big chamber, but the cabin of the vehicles really come into effect, and that affects everything. You know, whether you're a no-wall, whether you only have 118, 318, whatever, your cabin is a big factor in every build, especially for wind, SPO number, whatever. Now, them Blazers have a weird cabin. And I'm not just talking like her little S10 Blazer, you know, like first gen. Like all of them. All up to the like early mid-2000s, they all have a weird cabin in them. They got like this super long dash, just a bunch of weird stuff. And we had loading issues with her Blazer for a hot minute. And it never really liked playing with both windows down. After I did a little front port work and put the synergies in it, it got a whole lot better. But when I did the round over in it Sunday, that thing came to life. And I'm thinking that a lot of it was that it had a little bit too big a port area, because the cabin in there is so large that it wasn't keeping cone control really good at high volume. I don't know now, it's just a theory, but I know when I did that round over in the Blazer, that thing came to life, because now it'll float with both windows down. And before, it was windy, like sitting here in front of the port, super windy. At the windows, not so much. I think the driver window is actually better than the passenger side as far as wind went. But like I said, now with the roundovers, it does really, really good. So I'm going to leave the Blazer alone as far as like the front port and everything goes. It's happy. I'm happy with it. But this, I definitely have to do some front port work on, because I can't tell any difference with this roundover in here than without it, except for it's not as windy. It don't seem like, but I can play 15 hertz both windows down. Now, before I did anything to it, like before I put this wood in, this thing did play 17 hertz with both windows down. And it didn't sound like it had any loading issues at all. So basically my plan is I'm double layered right here. I'm going to take one layer out here and one layer out of the bottom, because I'm double layered there too. I'm only single on the side, so I'm going to go back to one single layer all the way around, which means I can keep the top and bottom piece of roundover, just cut two new sides longer. And that should put me math-wise right where I want to be. Ideal is you want around 12 square inches of port per cube in the top chamber. And that's not my number. That you know, you're going to get a lot of builders that would disagree with that. Some say use 40 to 50% of cone area for front port. These numbers the 12 come straight from Pro Audio Design, not cardio, but Pro Audio. Pro Audio is like when they built the big speaker cabinets and band pass, like the 4th order, 6th order, all that came from Pro Audio. You know, where they build speaker systems for auditoriums and, you know, audiophiles at home or whatever. But that's where these designs came from. So, even like your folded horn and everything. So, I always build my 6th orders on the math that I learned from the Pro Audio Enclosures. That is where I learned how to build 6th orders. And the one that was in here before, I followed them guidelines that did really well. The Blazer is on them guidelines. This one's on them guidelines. But in here, I started out going against them guidelines. I had heard a lot of people say use 50% of cone area. I just cut the port opening in here roughly to around 45%, which was like 406 square inches of port. I knew it would be a little big. Honestly, it didn't act like it was. But, I mean, we live and learn. I can't cut it any further top or bottom. I can't cut out that way any. If I make it bigger, I'm going to have to go like this way, out the sides. because I'm pretty much flush already at the top and bottom. But anyway, we live and learn, guys, so if I have to cut it bigger, I will. Anyway, I just wanted to give y'all a heads up of what I got going on. Got an alternator coming for this bad boy. Hopefully it'll be here in a couple weeks. And then a little port work on here. And this thing will pretty much be where it needs to be. And I can start doing some work to the blazer. And we got the port, the blazer figured out. That's really good. I did get the voltage regulator. 2 alternators are on the blazer. My aux beam switch panel that's in here, I have one of them I'm putting the blazer, which means I need a ashtray for the blazer now, because the wife had me put her push button switches in the damn ashtray. So now I need an ashtray for it. It's got a cheap radio mount in it that I got on Amazon, like the in-dash kit, that sucks. It actually sits in there crooked, and it's put in right, but it's just a cheapie. So I did order one from Crutchfield that I got to put in there that should be a whole lot better. So I got to do that. I just got some cosmetic stuff in there. Like I got to put a dome light in it, like I did this one in the enclosure. So I got to find the dome light wires, because it don't have a dome light. Or well, the dome light wires that originally were in there did not work. I don't know. But I got a lot of little stuff to do to it. So we'll get that taken care of. But anyway, guys, I thank y'all for following, or well, for subscribing, watching my videos, watching ads, Patreon, YouTube members, all that, guys. I appreciate the shit out of it, because it really helped me out of a jam this time. So thank y'all. I hope y'all have a great weekend, guys. Peace out. And as always, bass on.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.